I am Mustafee and I am Professor of Analytics and Operations Management at the University of Exeter Business School. So I am involved in the ARSINOE project, and one of the activities that I'm engaged in is what we call as developing a multi-sectorial resilience modeling framework. This is a very multidisciplinary projects. You have got climate scientists, you have got operations researchers, engineers, and this different disciplines that are coming together. And what we have to understand is that for every discipline there are multiple modeling techniques that they use, right? And the genesis of these techniques have got the information that was developed in the field, for example. And so what ARSINOE is helping us to do is to create a modeling framework where we use different modeling techniques at multiple resolutions, and we use it as an overarching structure for the projects, right? And this framework is also now referred to as the ARSINOE wheel, which you can see in my background. And what you see is that there are different tiers to this, right? And every tier has got some modeling methodologies that are implemented. And so at the center you can see the SSP pathways, right? And you can see in tier 1, for example, the climate and socio-economic projections. Tier 1 and tier 2 are basically the scenarios which will be implemented by all 9 of our case studies. As you then move higher to tier 3, 4 and 5 modeling, then you can look at modeling which has got strategic decision making, which is our final tier 5. Then before that you have operations research models for tactical and operational decisions. Now we used a co-development methodology to come up with it, right? We engaged with the partners and we came to know the different methods that they use, and we created the wheel out of a consensus. And it is a evolving process, and this is probably not the final version of the wheel. As we know, more methods being used by and more models being developed by our partners, there will be other iterations as well. So the overall objective is that having all these 9 case studies, having different models that they are working on, different resolutions, and models which are built by engineers, climate scientists and operations researchers, ecologists, for example. We present this common framework as a way of synthesis, because another thing to understand is that different tier models may be the output of one modeling tier, may be an input to the other, right? And again, this shows how the different disciplines, right, each having their separate models, are able to galvanize, get a synergy by using the modeling techniques together. So what the wheel does is provide this overarching conceptualization, right? And obviously together with the wheel we also have an information capture template, which basically tells us, for example, what are the 4 pillars of the framework. So for developing any models, for example, you require stakeholder interaction. We need to learn from them, right? Then for computational models, obviously there is need for data, and the data could be primary data, secondary data, or data coming from other sources, the knowledge graph, for example. So you see here the bottom pillar of the framework. And when you have a model, then obviously you have to do some scenarios for experimentation, and that is given by the pillar on the left, which is on resilience assessment. And there are different ways of again visualizing this back to the stakeholders, right? Because you develop the models, but it is intended to help the stakeholder, our project partners, to take better and more informed decisions, right? And the visualization of some of the output could be quite complicated. So we have different visualization techniques, as you can see on the right in our stakeholder decision making pillar, and we also have a common dashboard. So yeah, that is what in a nutshell the wheel is, and the information template which goes. And obviously for each of the models used by the case studies, there will also be separate documentation of more specific details of the model. But overall, the wheel gives us a very good way of conceptualization and bringing out the interdisciplinary strengths in terms of the modeling ARSINOE project.